We'll go ahead and get started, and anyone else who comes, we can catch up. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of my administrative colleague, Mrs. Liz McAllister, my name is Wes Wehunt, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to middle school, right? And more specifically today to our Rising Fifth Grade Moving Up session. The purpose of our meeting today is to give you a glimpse into the middle school experience. But most importantly, you'll be introduced to some of the outstanding educators who will be guiding your children through the next phase of their academic journey. It's been an exciting start to the middle school today. I have to tell you just very quickly. We had our middle school Battle of the Books competition this morning, and I am pleased to report that our middle school Battle of the Books team won their regional competition, and we beat some pretty good schools, including Canton. So we have a lot to celebrate in the middle school, and that was one exciting thing that happened today. So let me start with sharing that fun fact. Ms. McAllister.
All right. Our goal today is to take some of the mystery of what happens on the second floor of the building. I'll never forget, a couple of years ago, one mom said, my child is going upstairs. So it's funny that even though we're all in the same building, there's a lot of mystery about what happens upstairs. But we're hope that you leave today excited about the enriching experiences to come. And looking at our next 30 minutes, we'll have our quick introduction, and then we'll spend the majority of the time hearing from the teachers, and we'll conclude at the end with questions. Just to minimize disruptions, we'd ask that if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just type them in the chat and we will answer them at the end.
Great, thank you. So for this middle school faculty team, learning always starts with meaningful connections. You will come to learn that our teachers truly value the uniqueness of each child and prioritize time each year to get to know and understand the individuals in their classrooms. Now, the efforts built developing relationships are valuable investments. For those of you who are not aware, our middle school actually consists of two teaching teams. We have a 5th and 6th grade team, and then a 7th and 8th grade team. And your child will have the same teachers for both 5th and 6th grade, and then transition to a new set of teachers for 7th and 8th grade. Middle school is a time of incredible growth and change, and we believe that consistency of caring adults in the lives is one area where we can minimize change and encourage deeper connections.
In just a moment, you'll have the chance to hear from some of the members of our 5th and 6th grade team. And some of these individuals with us today will be advisors next year for 5th graders. Think of an advisor as sort of like a homeroom teacher. It's somebody your child will be with for the next 2 years. And then along with daily meetings and advisory times together, advisors sort of function as like an academic shepherd, somebody else who's keeping an eye out on grades, homework, social dynamics, things like that. So I know the teachers will talk a little bit more about advisory, but it is a very important component of the middle school experience.
One other thing you'll learn about this teaching team is they all work collaboratively to cultivate a safe and secure environment. We are absolutely unified in our programmatic aspirations. We want our students, your children, to understand that who they are is just as important as what they know. We spend time talking about personal growth and character development. We take time to help these kids learn how to navigate changing friendships and how to respond positively to conflict between peers. Our behavior management plan is constructed to include both reflection and growth, and not just discipline.
It's hard to believe, but 4 years from now, your children will be at the doorstep ready to enter high school. The academic rigors of the middle school will certainly prepare them intellectually. The adult role models they have in middle school will help to inspire them to live with courage and compassion. And as you prepare to embark on this journey, let's begin with the end in mind, with the understanding that we hope our students will take with them on their way to high school, that who they are is just as important as what they know.
And with that, it is a sincere honor to turn this presentation over to part of our 5th and 6th grade teaching team. They'll introduce themselves and speak for a bit about some of our program highlights. Enjoy your time together. And again, if you have questions, don't hesitate to write them in the chat, and we'll circle back to them at the end. Thank you.
So I'll jump in to introduce the advisors for our rising 5th grade class. You'll see that I am there in the middle. My name is Julia Colopy. I'm actually getting married in a week and a half. And so I'm going to be changing my last name to Creekmore, spelled how it sounds. And so I teach 6th through 8th grade math. I've also, for the last 2 years, been serving as our middle school SGA faculty advisor. That's our student government. And so your children could have the opportunity to run for SGA next year. I also this past year was the assistant varsity cross country coach, which was really exciting because I don't know if you saw in the Patriot Post, but we went on to win states for our 2A division for North Carolina, which was so exciting. Miss Ecker is on the left, Krista Ecker. She's sick, so she can't be with us today, but she is our awesome 5th and 6th grade language arts teacher. These kids come out of being taught under her as such better writers, greater vocabulary skills. She's just awesome. And she also is the coach for our elementary Battle of the Books team, which is 4th and 5th graders. Mrs. Morrison is right now at a signing ceremony for her nephew who is signing on to play soccer at Roanoke College. She teaches all 5th grade math and one section of 6th grade math, and she has also been the middle school volleyball coach. Miss Morrison is also awesome. They've been really great teammates to have. And I believe that the next slide is on language art.
Before we bounce ahead, can I just have Karen just say hello real quick and introduce herself, because she's not on that slide.
Hi, I'm Karen Gooch. I'm in charge of teaching the 5th and 6th grade science component. So I joined these lovely ladies on this 5-6 team. We worked really hard together to make middle school be a great experience for your kids.
And Karen will be a 6th grade advisor next year, right? You have a 5th grade group this year, and she'll stay with that same group of kids, and they will travel and stay with her through 6th grade next year. So the reason Karen's picture's not up here is because she's gonna be with a 6th grade group next year, not a 5th grade group.
That is one of the unique components that we really like about middle school. It allows us to develop a great connection with your child, but also your family, because we stay the advisor for those 2 years. So we follow your child through 5th and 6th grade.
We promise not to believe everything they tell us about home. If you promise not to believe everything they tell you about school, we'll have that little pact between us as parents.
All right, so I am going to talk about the language arts for Krista. So our language arts program is developed around several different components. Those do include reading several different novels throughout the school year. Miss Ecker does explore several different genres with the kids that include realistic fiction, but also fantasy and historical fiction. One of the main things that she does with those novels is actually develop writing pieces with the students. So they actually work on developing a piece that's related to the theme in each book. We also have a separate grammar curriculum that actually helps to introduce concepts to the kids as they're talking about those different writing papers. She has also IXL practice for those components. There is a unique feature that is vocabulary related, and so the students spend about 2 weeks reinforcing new vocabulary, which we know is really important. So they see a lot of these words throughout the novels, but then also are encouraged to use them in their writing. So they use an online resource called Sadlier. It helps the students to identify synonyms and antonyms and then reinforce the retention of those words. As you know, that's kind of important as they develop their writing skills. They can use those words in that content and then carry those words with them as they prepare for upper school and exams as they go into college. She also does have several different fun events throughout the year. We've had author visits in the past. We do something called Flashlight Friday in language arts. So the kids get to bring in flashlights and blankets and pillows, and they turn out the lights and they snuggle up with their favorite book and read. One of the really strong components of the language arts program is Miss Ecker's ability to encourage all of the kids to become lifelong readers, which is really important. So she works really hard with our 5th grade in developing that skill.
So for our social studies program for 5th graders is studying world geography and US history. This course is taught by Mr. Jeff Smith, who teaches all of the 5th and 6th graders social studies. And so in this year for social studies in 5th grade, they discuss a lot about cause and effect between all sorts of different events throughout US history. They also learn how to take notes from a slightly more lecture style based class, starting to develop that skill. They discuss other cultures all across the world. There's a lot of collaboration in the class and working with each other, and just discussing different methods of communication, both inside the class and different methods of communication that are used throughout their lives. So really honing those communication skills.
Absolutely. I describe our social studies class as really a study skills class that just uses history to teach study skills. So that's the primary focus of that coursework.
So I'm going to talk about science. That is me down there in the corner with my two kids who also attend here. Kipton will be in 6th grade next year, and Braden will actually join our upper school next year. But 5th grade is actually the first time that the kids actually have science as a separate class. So they're really excited. We kind of call this an introduction into 2 sections of science. They have half a year environmental science, and then the second half of the year is physical science. So in the environmental science section, we talk about things like biomes and ecosystems. We talk about plants and animals. We talk about adaptations, and then also sustainability. Pictured there is one of the projects from the environmental science component, which is called an eco tower. It's a self-sustaining terrarium and aquarium where the kids actually learn about how the 2 environments interact together, but then we actually put fish and snails in the bottom, and there's insects in the top, and they learn about how those 2 ecosystems thrive together. The second half of the year, we talk about physical science. So we talk about states of matter and the elements, chemical and physical changes, and then a really large unit on force and motion. Throughout the whole entire year, the kids are involved in a lot of collaborative activities to kind of encourage that working together, becoming a good leader in my classroom. We participate in a lot of hands-on labs. And those are things that during the COVID time, we kind of drew back on, but now we're bringing back into class, and the kids are absolutely thriving to be able to problem solve and work together with each other.
Those projects are amazing. I will tell you, I've had a son that's gone through and done the terrarium project that you see on the screen here. And our fish lived a surprisingly long time, like 6 months, lived for such a long time. So not sure that all of them lived that long, but ours did. So it was a great project.
So for our 5th grade math, we have 2 different math courses for 5th grade. One of them is called Envision 5, that's for 5th grade level math. And then we have an advanced 5th grade level math course, that is course 1, which is really 6th grade level. So again, Mrs. Morrison teaches both of these courses for 5th grade, and she does 1 project per quarter that is always related to whatever current unit they are studying. And really throughout these courses for both Envision 5 and course 1, a strong focus for the year to really prepare them for their entire duration of math through middle school here is strengthening their problem solving skills through real world application. That's something that we care strongly about, is that your child really learns how to think and solve for themselves and strategize for themselves, and not just be handed a formula of how to do something. So working a lot on that problem solving. They also finalize their computation skills with arithmetic, with all different types of rational numbers. They also, course 1, oh, sorry, I lost my place here. And so these foundations of arithmetic and algebra and probability and statistics, it's all laying the foundations for the types of math that they will see and study for an entire year later on in their math career. And again, always bringing in real world situations into that. Yeah, I think that summarizes it there. And you can actually see on the top right, that is Mrs. Morrison again with her husband, Mr. Doug Morrison, who teaches our 7th and 8th grade science courses.
Julie, we've had a couple of questions pop up. I'm going to just pause because they had a couple of parents had questions about how the determination is made between placement into the Envision 5 or the grade 6. Mm-hmm. And you want to talk about that real quick?
Sure. Okay. So we look at a variety of data points. Their in-class performance. We looked also at just one data point of any standardized testing that we have, but a lot of it is just a discussion with the fourth grade teachers. Miss Morrison and I always meet with the fourth grade teachers at the end of the year. We're actually going to be meeting soon, just again to revisit, to make sure that we really stand behind how we make those course placement decisions. And our math department chair, Miss Olga Khadija Sayers, who's one of our high school math classes, is also in on those conversations as well. And so, so that's how we make those placements, is just bringing in a variety of different data points. There's no one data point that makes that decision. And it's always a conversation that we revisit with families, and are always keeping an eye on children that could benefit from further enrichment, and that we're confident that they would be able to succeed at a more advanced level as well.
Mm-hmm. And those initial placements, there's fluidity in that in the middle school process, right? So if you start at one level, it doesn't mean you stay at that particular track for the entire middle school experience, right? There are opportunities to advance ahead if performance and mastery indicate that would be a beneficial option. So where you start isn't necessarily where you stay. We certainly know kids don't all learn to ride a bike on the same day, and understanding math concepts come at different stages too. And so we leave the door open for a lot of fluidity in the process. Thanks, Julia.
Mm-hmm. Also, for foreign language, for foreign language, all fifth graders actually take both French and Spanish. So the way that the year is structured is that one half of the fifth grade takes French for the first semester, while the other half is taking Spanish for the first semester, and then they swap for the spring. And really the purpose of these fifth grade French and fifth grade Spanish classes are to introduce them to the languages. I know that they have some background in one or both languages, depending on their own background, but it's really just to get them interested in both of the languages, and then see by the end of the year which one they feel more drawn to. So then they choose at the end of their fifth grade year which one they would like to pursue for beginning their formal course of study starting in sixth grade. So then from sixth grade on, they would choose which language they would like to pursue. And so there's a lot of thematic vocabulary, really introducing them to high frequency words, making sure that we're not teaching them niche vocabulary, but really vocabulary that they would be using. Like, let's say that they travel to Costa Rica on a trip with their family for spring break, that they are equipped with some language that they could go ahead and try out while they're there. It's also the beginning of grammar concepts, introducing them to the very basics of conjugation, of verb conjugation. There's a lot of exploration of cultures. And you can see with Madame Celia Marx's advisory in the bottom middle, her advisory dressed like Frenchmen with baguettes, which was so cute for one of our advisory days. And then there are also projects and skits. The kids always love the skits and writing them. I know that also in the Spanish class, they do a unit on diving into all sorts of different Spanish-speaking countries from around the world and how they each have their own unique culture. And I should have said also on the top right, you can see that is Tifa Celia Marx in the middle there with her husband and her daughter, Sophie. And so she is our French teacher for all of the middle school courses, and she is a current fifth grade advisor. So next year, her advisory will continue with her as sixth graders.
Great. Thanks, Julia.
Mm-hmm.
Karen, before I jump to questions, would you mind just giving an overview of the daily schedule? That might be helpful for the parents to hear just kind of what a middle school day looks like.
Course. So middle school is obviously a lot different than their life has been in lower school. Typically, we start the morning with what we call morning meeting. This is just a time for the students to gather. In years prior to COVID, we actually had that gathering in the theater where we would all meet together and sit by advisory. And basically that is a time for us to gather together and talk about the theme for the year. We talk about different activities that are going on throughout the middle school school itself. There's different SGA events. And then we also have some house games where the students are assigned a house and we kind of compete against each other in some fun competitive ways. Then the students actually rotate classes. They have 4 classes before lunch. Those classes are about 52 to 54 minutes in length. We do have a break after second period. So right at the start of third period, there is a short, like 10-minute snack break. This is time for the kids to just eat snack. Then they go to their advisor's classroom where we're eating lunch. Then usually 2 days a week, the kids have some kind of advisory activity for about 25 minutes. So this is when the advisors will do a grade check. This year, we're working with a program that's called Habitudes. That is a real character development kind of working to develop leader our students. So we have great discussions that goes along with that program. The other 3 days are dedicated for outdoor recess. So we take the children outside for recess. And then in the afternoon, they have 3 additional class periods before the end of the day. There's plenty of time. A lot of the kids think they have to carry items from class to class, but with lockers back in the picture this year, the kids do carry a backpack, but they're able to go to their locker because most of the classrooms are right here on this hallway. And so there's plenty of time to go to lockers and drop things off and gather things for the next class.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. Along with a 52-minute course period, there's a 3-minute transition time between classes. So that there's plenty of time to walk across the hall. If they need to use the restroom, they can. If they need to go to the locker, they can. So the teachers actually, fifth grade advisors spend time with the students early in the year, helping them figure out how to transition from class to class and what it means to go to your locker and how to organize the locker. So all that's part of that introduction to middle school that will happen that first week when they wear a red shirt and come upstairs next year. All right. Any questions? I had a couple of math that I hope we got to, but are there any other questions for me, the parents that are here today? You're welcome to unmute and chat at us if that helps.
I heard you guys say that you really work to emotionally support these folks going through middle school. Middle school was a personal hell for me when I was in this age.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about how you all tactically handle some of the social dynamics and some of the personality changes and things that happen in middle school and how you just tackle some of that.
Yeah, I read a really interesting survey probably 3 or 4 years ago. And a magazine asked its subscribers to respond to an age when you'd like to go back and relive it again, right? And so they identify different touch points in a person's life and hey, you know, pick which of these time frames you'd like to go back and redo. You know, some people pick kindergarten, some people pick when they turn 16, some people pick 18. Actually, 0% picked middle school, like this age, you know, 12 to 14 range. It was 0 on the list. I don't think anyone has a necessarily super positive experience in middle school. It's just a very challenging time. As I mentioned, the rate of growth and the emotional and physical change that happens to these kids is truly astounding. We're fortunate. First and foremost, we have a faculty of middle school teachers that absolutely love middle school kids. It takes a unique person to want to spend their days with this type of environment, right? With this type of change, this type of student, and we are fortunate to have secured an incredible teaching staff. So your kids are going to be well cared for. I promise you that. They're going to get the attention and the focus they deserve and the individual attention they deserve. Now, programmatically, over the last several years, we've added a guidance counselor to our administrative team here. So we have opportunities to work with a guidance counselor specifically on relationships. If kids are struggling with friendships or dealing with some type of conflict, the teachers try to mitigate that and engage, and they need a little bit of additional assistance. The counselor is here to jump right in, and she does that routinely. Mrs. McAllister and I meet with the counselor every week. We talk about specific kids who may be struggling. We keep very close eyes on the dynamics on the hallway. Again, another benefit of a small class size and a small school is you really do get to know everybody very well. So we're very tuned into these issues as they present and as they unfold. You heard Mrs. Gouge talk about the Habitudes program, and that's a habits and attitudes of successful leaders. And through that program, again, this is a conversation-based program where the kids actually engage, do some self-reflection, and talk about what it means to be a good friend. They talk about what it means to resolve conflict. So we try to proactively address some of this as much as we can, and then look for opportunities to react when we have to. But as I said, try to do it on the front side as much as we can.
Great.
But expect change.
Awesome. I wish I'd had that when I was in fifth
Yeah.
and sixth grade.
Yeah, hopefully our kids will have a more positive experience than we did.
Yeah.
I will say, you heard me mention wear a red shirt. Middle school kids, this is the first, coming into fifth grade is the first time they can have a red uniform shirt. Up until this point, it's been white or blue. And I will tell you, 99% of the kids in the middle school wear a red shirt every day, either a red shirt or a red sweatshirt. And no matter the temperature, most boys wear a red sweatshirt and shorts every day of the year. But we will give you an update on all of this uniform stuff this summer. And so you'll hear it again, not just today. Any other questions? Here we go. Field trip plans. We are beginning the process to plan for field trips for next year. Now, institutionally, we have not committed to overnight trips quite yet. We have a inclination that we will be heading that direction come next year. And so we are preparing just in case. So in years past, pre-COVID, we would have overnight trips to start each year. Usually right around the Columbus Day holiday, we would take a trip on the front side of that weekend so we could get back and just have a long weekend at home. And so I would expect that if we do wind up doing an overnight trip with this group, it would be right around that same time frame next year. And Miss Morrison's back. Quick wave. You want to say hi, Stacy?
Yeah, hi. Sorry I had to be late, but we sure look forward to having your fifth grade students next year. I will be their math teacher and looking forward to meeting them all.
Thank you, Ms. Morrison. Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
Exciting news for your nephew there.
Yeah.
We had another question about sports. Do the kids need to have experience to join a team? When is the sign up? Worry about missing deadlines. So sports, Julie, you feel comfortable talking about the sports process here? Or Ms. Morrison, Stacy, you want to talk about sports in the middle school, especially with fifth grade?
Sorry, I was just typing out a message actually that I need to go because my next class has arrived. But
Thank you for your time.
Sure, but I can send my computer with Stacy if that would be a good solution.
Okay.
Let me do that. Okay.
You can start class.
Awesome, I'll do that.
Yes, I also need to hop off because I have a class here also.
Thanks for your time, Karen. We got it. Bye.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up for you.
I'm just going to go in the hall so I'm not interrupting her class. So the question is fifth grade sports. What about it? What are the?
Yeah, but what's available, and do they need to have experience to sign up, or kind of when does that process work?
So I think that the only sport for girls that starts, I don't even think it starts before, but we have volleyball in the fall, and the boys have soccer, I think.
So.
But the girls have, fifth and sixth grade girls have volleyball, basketball. They can swim. They can try out for tennis. Trying to think what else. Gosh, I guess my mind is,
No, that may be it for fifth grade. I know we have
That might be.
girls
Yeah.
lacrosse, but I don't think fifth grade plays lacrosse.
I don't think so. And then boys, they have basketball, they have baseball now, they have soccer, and they can also swim, tennis, golf.
Yep. And so do they need experience to play?
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah,
A lot of the kids do start early, clubs and whatnot. And if it's a girl, I know I coach the fifth and sixth grade girls volleyball team, and we will send out things, training sessions over the summer where they can come into the gym and just get a little gym time and learn. But no, we'll take them and we'll teach them what they need to learn. So
Again, another fun thing about being in a small school is you get a chance to try some things. I have
right.
a son who's in fifth grade now who's going to be playing baseball, and he's never played baseball a day in his life. He's an ice hockey kid, but he wants to be out with his friends and be out in the sunshine and try to catch a ball. So he's going to try it. So you get to try a lot of things. And so we encourage kids to try things. So yeah, please, if there's an interest and a desire to want to play for your school, tell them to pursue it. Kids sign up by the season, and there's typically, when a spring season or a fall season starts, the athletic department will send out a little notification to the parents to say, hey, if you're interested, let us know. And that just gives an idea on numbers, and we'll get organized from that end. Thank you, Stacy. Another question I heard is, summer camp at Davidson, is that coming back? I don't think so. There may be some sports camps that happen at Davidson Day, but I don't think there's going to be a defined summer camp program this year. Not sure. All great questions. I think I got them. What we'll do, this session has actually been video recorded, and we will package this up, email a copy of it out to you this afternoon, along with a written summary of some of the content material that you saw about program overview. And you're welcome to share this video with your spouse, anybody else in your house who you would like to. If you have a neighbor who might be interested in 5th grade, don't hesitate. You can share this video with them too. We're happy to talk to you or anybody else who has questions about the program. We know it's a big transition, but we're excited for your kids and excited to welcome you and them, like I said, into the middle school next year. So if questions come up, don't hesitate. Reach out to myself, Ms. McAllister, any of the teachers. We'd be happy to sit down and talk to you further. But thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time. We are honored you spent it with us today. Enjoy your afternoon, everybody. Take care.
Bye, guys. Thank you.